to DVC Weekly. This is episode 76. My name is Jason Erpelding. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. I'm here with Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-Rental.com and BuyAndSellDVC.com.
And today is for your 11-month window at your home resort. It's going to be June 20th, 2023. And for your 7-month window, it's going to be February 20th, 2023. Do you already have a lot of rentals coming in for between?
Not as many as usual. Things have slowed down a little bit. So if you're thinking of going next year, now is definitely the time you want to start planning because it is going to start selling out sometime soon. So definitely get a jump on your 2023 vacations quickly.
And we're going to start on the buy and sell side. And remember, you can reach buy and sell at buyandselldvc.com, DVC-Rental.com. Remember the dash to save the cash. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Remember, man, if you could click the buy and sell YouTube and subscribe. I realize we have 2 channels, but everybody loves multiple channels. It's just, you can subscribe to both channels. If you can get it up to 1,000, I can go back to the golf shirt. So good news, 100% of borrowing points is back. It's finally been lifted. So for those that we're waiting for that and trying to secure that reservation because you needed 4 to 20 extra points, you can now borrow all your points. And for those new to DVC, with your DVC points, you can use your points. You have what's called a use year. So if you get your points June 1st, 2022, you can use them between 6/1/22 and 6/1/23. You're allowed to bank your points. You can bank 100% of your points. If you know you're not going to go in that 12-month window, you can bank the points to 6/1/23. They now need to be used between 6/1/23 and 6/1/24. You cannot bank them again. Now, if you have those points banked and it's now, you want to make a reservation for after checking in after 6/1/23, and you have your 200 points from 6/1/23 and your 200 bank points from 6/1/22, you can also borrow 100% of your points from 6/1/24. That would give you 600 points for your vacation or 300% of your allocation for your vacation. Now, you can always call up and bank your points, or you're going to log in and click, you have 84 points to bank the points. Mm-hmm. You're never going to call in and say, I just want to borrow these points or log in and borrow. It's always going to be to complete a reservation. Yes. And the banking and borrowing is a final transaction, so to speak, if you've seen other episodes. But yes, 100% of the borrowing is back. So like I say, if you're new to DVC, it creates a little bit more flexibility. Some people vacation every other year. They need 200 points, so they buy a 100-point property. Some people vacation, every 3 years. They need, 600 points. They buy 200 points. So it's one of the nice things about DVC is the flexibility. And hopefully, it's been an interesting time period between starting in March 2020 in regards to availability. Hopefully things can start to flatten out, so to speak, and people can secure the reservations that they were securing before March of 2020, and everybody can get what they want.
Yeah, I was just going to add that, we talked about it in the past, is then with it coming back to 100% borrowing, what had happened is during the pandemic, Disney had limited it to 50% borrowing. So you're only able to borrow 50% of your points in. Their theory behind that is that they would have all these people who had to push off their vacations. They wanted to have less points into the system so that way there'd be better availability for people. And people have been wondering for the past 2 years, when is Disney going to stop this borrowing, decline? And just several days, maybe about a week or so. I was in Disneyland, so I don't even remember what day it was, but just about around a week or so ago, maybe a little bit less, out of nowhere, Disney just announced no more borrowing limitations. So yeah, went from 50% back to the 100%, which it had been for the past 20-something years.
And one question I never got answered, and it's not important, but for those people that owned an odd number of points,
what happens to
were they able to borrow a half a point? or did Disney bump them up to give them that full point? I don't know. You know,
that question may never get answered.
luckily, what we just experienced will not happen again.
Yeah, let's hope so at least.
So now we're on to the food review of the week.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
Now, this, again, I just got back from Disneyland a couple days ago, and this was my favorite food review from this trip. It's actually going to be a video. You don't even know about this. It's a video. I was assisted by my friend's daughters. This was the Red Rose Tavern. This is called the Summer Stuff. It's the gray stuff, shortbread cookie, red velvet cake with raspberry. So Ty, please roll that video.
We are at the Red Rose Tavern with possibly the cutest food review we've ever done. We have some volunteers today, and this is the summer stuff at the Red Rose Tavern, as I mentioned. It's a shortbread cookie, red velvet cake, raspberry, and sprinkles on top. So I have these two wonderful ladies who are to give it a try for me, and there's the Malik family in the background from the Dub Show. You know them? All right, ladies, I'll let you go first. Go ahead, Evie.
I'm just gonna just go straight down.
This is how the professional goes at it. Yeah, get all that.
Don't break an nail.
All right, you take your bite, take your time. You want to get yours? Get your bite. Apparently it's not easy to get through. Should have brought a knife. Oh, there we go. Look at the inside of that too. Watch your hand for it. Oh, yeah. All right. So far we've seen some happy people. On a score from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, what do you give this dessert?
I would give it
An 8? All right, good. That's a good score. And you, my dear, what would you give this delicious cake?
9.
9? Ooh, okay.
Too much frosting.
Too much frosting? All right, so we got some. Oh, she's going again. So, yep. So we got some pretty good scores at 8 and 9. And we'll go back to the show, and I'll give my own review on it as well. If there's any cake left after this, I might be able to give a review on this. We'll have to see. We're losing it quickly. It's fine. It's fine. Let them get in there. As long as I get one little bite. All right. Thank you so much, ladies. We appreciate it.
So now, they gave it a 9 and an 8. I tried it as well. They barely left me any, but I was able to try it. I was more on the 7.1 side. I felt the gray stuff it was lacking a little bit of taste, and it said red velvet cake with raspberry. I didn't taste any raspberry at all. I really would have loved a little more raspberry in there. Overall, I thought it was pretty decent. Again, still gave it a 7.1. Very, very cool looking little cookie cake thing as well. But, 7.1, I'd maybe get it again. And I didn't write down how much it was. I believe it was about $6.
What does gray stuff mean?
Like the gray from Beauty and the Beast, they say, try the gray stuff. It's delicious. They sell it. They have it normally at the Be Our Guest restaurants.
Okay.
It's like a mousse. It's like a gray mousse. It's supposed to be more like a chocolate. It didn't have a ton of flavor, but it's very, very light and very like a whipped mousse type thing. So this was a little more dense than a regular whipped mousse, but still very, very good. I enjoyed it. It looked good. It was very appealing to look at. It had little colored pearls on it and everything. So it was a nice looking treat. 7.1. The girls loved it, and I had a great time shooting the video, watching them enjoy it. So definitely a lot of fun.
And now we're on to the DVC-Rental side of things. So I'm wondering if we're going to get some splash of Disneyland info here.
I have a feeling there's going to be a splash of Disneyland info for the next several episodes. There's a lot of stuff to unpack, and I'm going to do this part in 2 parts. It's just some quick observations. This is part 1 of Disneyland. Having 2 parks and downtown Disney right next to each other, really, really great options. As you know, anywhere on Disney property, you've got the 4 main parks plus, water parks as well. And Disney Springs, all separated. You got to take a bus to them. You got to drive. All of this. Have you been to Disneyland?
I have not.
Never?
Never.
So where a lot of the resorts are set up, I think that there's another way to get into Disneyland, but every time I've gone, you have to walk through downtown Disney. We still call it downtown Disney versus Disney Springs here. So in the next couple episodes, if I'm mentioning downtown Disney or if I say Disney Springs, you know what I mean. I'm mixing them up, but yeah, it's Disney Springs in Florida, downtown Disney, which is what Disney Springs was called previously in California. But you walk through downtown Disney, and then eventually you get out into like an opening, and you've got Disneyland on your left and California Adventure right on your right. They're probably, I'm ballparking here, 50, 100 yards apart. So I mean, they're close to each other. They're right there. And just having everything so nice and compact is really, really great, because there's a lot of resorts nearby, a lot of off-property resorts right within walking distance as well. So just having everything right there, really, really convenient. The downtown Disney in California, much, much smaller than the one in Disney Springs here. I shouldn't say a lot. There's a good amount of restaurants, not as much shopping as I would like. I felt like it needed a little more. They took away the ESPN zone, and now it's just like a little walk-through area. Like they took away Earl of Sandwich recently. I feel like they need a little bit more, but still, it was very nice. We ate several times at the restaurants there. The restaurants were very good, but just felt it needed a little more shopping. It's a much smaller, compact area. I mean, all of Disneyland is,
What kind of shops were you hoping for?
I don't even really know. Just there weren't many.
Because they listen to you.
I know they do listen. Like they have a big World of Disney there, and they had a Disney like a home decor shop. There was a Pandora and a surf store, but I'm sure there's people who Disneyland who are yelling at me. But like there's like maybe 2 or 3 other shops, but that was basically it. Like there really wasn't a lot of stuff to do there. It's relatively crowded. There's a lot of locals who are hanging out there, and I think a lot of them just mostly going for the restaurants. I felt like they needed more. I don't know specifically what they needed. I would have liked more. I mean, they have World of Disney, which is big. I felt all of us just agreed like it just needed some more shopping. Like it was our last night there, and we're like, all right, we had dinner. Let's knock off and do some shopping. And there was just not much left. We went through it quickly. We're like, oh, that's it. Guess we're going back to a hotel. So I felt like you needed more shopping.
Is there like a Lego store there? Or?
There is a Lego store.
Okay.
We went in the Lego store. That was fun.
Was it busy like it is here?
Not as busy. No.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to think. Like a lot of times, the Lego store here has a big line to get in. Right. It was nowhere near that.
Oh, okay.
So they did have a Lego store though, and we did go in the Lego store, and that was. I'm not a huge Lego guy, but it was fun. They had a big Darth Vader there, and they had a I don't know the exact name, but like the sea serpent here outside the Lego store. It's in the water in Disney Springs with that big like sea serpent dragon. They had one of those like up in like the ceiling area, just like parts of it. So Lego store still fun. Not as much of a line to get in.
Gotcha.
The downtown Disney restaurants, really, really cool option. I'd say the majority of them, or a lot of them, have a quick service option. So, you picture being able to like go to like one of the restaurants here, and then they've got like the little kiosk next to it, and you can sit there and get some of their most popular items. Like we went to Ralph Brennan's for dinner one night, and right next to it they have a little quick service where they have like the beignets and a couple other little things, and they have a big Mexican restaurant, and then attached to it they have a little taqueria. I think that's what it's called. Something like that. But they have like build your own nachos and burritos and bowls and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of these restaurants have these little takeout windows next to them. The Italian place had one that gives out pizzas. I was like, I thought that was a really great option, because a lot of times you don't have time to sit there and go into the restaurant, so you can't get a reservation. So lots of quick service options built into those restaurants, which I would really love for Disney Springs, or even restaurants, in Epcot, to have little takeout options where you can get some of the most popular things. I think that's a great addition. The amount of rides, we're number 4, by the way. The amount of rides that we have crammed into Disneyland is wonderful. I had to look. There were 58 attractions in Disneyland. I guess that's rides and little shows and like little exhibits and stuff that they have. There are 58 as of now in Disneyland versus 34 here in Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. So they have a lot of stuff crammed into Disneyland. So again, really nice option where Disney World is a lot more spread out. There's a lot to do in Disneyland. Not half as many rides in California Adventure, but Disneyland has a lot of stuff going on, really, really packed in there. Makes everything really convenient. We had somebody in our group who was in a boot. So, I mean, she kept up really, really well. But I mean, I figured all the walking around, much easier for her in Disneyland versus being in Disney
A boot
World.
with crutches or just a boot?
Just a boot. She's, not that I know too much about it. There was a surgery done. There was some issues with it healing. And essentially, she's been wearing it for at least the last 2 years. So it's not like it's even like a temporary thing. It's something whenever she's doing a lot of standing or a lot of walking, she has to wear a boot. And yeah, she was able to get around. It's much easier when everything is so compact. And I think one of the issues with everything being so compact, though, is that the queues at Disneyland, the queue lines, terrible. Barely any of them are inside, so they're almost all out there. And it was hot in Disneyland. Not as hot as Florida, less humidity, but still during the days it was 85, 88 degrees, sunny, and it was still pretty darn hot. So a lot of the queues are outside, and a lot of the Disney World queues are inside and themed, and you've got music. You know, everything is very, very well done. Disneyland, I think, just with the way it was built, outside queues. So a lot of it's just like, you know, on a concrete patio with like metal chains just separating them as you wiggle through the line to eventually get inside. And then once you're inside, the queue line is, you know, the size of this room, and you're on the ride. So like the 90% of the queue is outside in the heat, in the elements. So I don't think there's really too much Disney can do about that. You know, the park was built a long time ago. They crammed as much as they could into the little space that they had, but not a ton of like cover or anything. So a lot of times you're just out there in the sun and it gets hot. But
did you have a game plan going in, or did you kind of wing it, or?
the game plan was to ride as much as we could
Okay.
and eat as much as we could.
Okay. And did you?
I think we did a pretty good job.
Okay, that's good to know.
No, we had an absolute great time. It was honestly one of the best vacations I've had in years. We went with a couple other families, as you know, and we had a blast. Everybody got along. The kids got along. And like, you know, I'm sure there were times, small times where some people maybe, you know, I don't want to say get sick of each other, but like just, especially maybe like the kids, like maybe some sort of something. But I mean, 99% of the time, everything was absolutely fantastic, and everybody really got along, and it was a lot of fun, and I'd like to do it again sometime. We had a blast. So
Nice. That sounds fantastic.
oh yeah, it was absolutely great, and yeah, didn't want it to end. There's so much walking. I'm you know, with living local, I go to the parks once every several weeks, once every couple months recently. And when I go to the parks, normally it's for like 2 hours. Like we'll do 2 rides and come back home. These were, you know, get there at like 9 a.m. and leave at 9 p.m. So it was a lot more than I was accustomed to. And all of us, our feet were aching, backs
Did you
were
want to
aching.
tap out?
I powered through it, but there was, I forget which day it was. There was one day when I remember exactly which day it was now. We were waiting for, I think, Lamplight Lounge, and for dinner at Lamplight Lounge. And my feet were just aching so badly. Because you do nonstop standing and walking, that I was dying to sit. My feet were hurting. I was like, I just wanted to just like end it. I'm like, I'm done. It was just, feet were killing me, but had so much fun. We were averaging like 16, 17,000 steps a day. My wife takes shorter steps. I think she was averaging like 20,000 steps a day. And that was like every single day, and it was nonstop. But
How many miles is that? I don't know.
we were averaging probably about 8 miles a day.
Whoa.
And the thing is, a lot of that wasn't even walking. A lot of time you were just like standing still, which when I'm walking, I'm okay. It's when you're going slower or staying still that my feet start like aching. Like I could just keep going, but there's a lot of standing. So I mean, you know, walking 8 miles, you know, you can knock off in, you know, a couple hours. But, you know, this is a 12-hour day where there was barely any sitting down, and you were just spending so much time on your feet. So it was a lot, but I definitely would not have changed it for anything.
And how many days were like that?
We were all together for 4 of the days.
Okay.
I had one day prior to everybody pretty much arriving, that my family and I, and then Cindy, who joined us as well, we were walking around the parks by ourselves before everybody else joined us. So we had 5 days of tickets. So we did 5 days of parks. Everybody else, I think, did 4. Cindy did like 5 as well, but everybody else did like 4. And the last day there, a lot of it, even when people like left, we still just walked downtown Disney, walk around a little bit. When we didn't have the park passes, walk there, do some shopping, come back. So like there was still constant walking and standing.
Is there going to be a group photo that you're going to add to this video?
There possibly can be.
Okay, because people are going to want to know who the Cindy is.
Ty, I'm sorry. I'm putting a photo of the group at the end of the video. So please put this photo up, at the end of this.
Well, that's fantastic. Is that all from for this episode?
That's all.
But you got to tune in for next week.
Yeah, tune in for next week. We talk about Disney for a while, and I'm going to be doing part 2 of my observations in next week's video. So definitely stay tuned for that.
As always, we appreciate you watching. And again, you can borrow those points. And also, if you're renting out your points with DVC-Rental, sometimes that helps. If you give them authorization to borrow the points, they can help secure a reservation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And again, you can always you're welcome to give us your login. We can do all the work for you. You never mandatory though. It will help out, but yeah, we can bank them for you, borrow them for you, current points. We can take care of anything for you.
So everything. So check us out if you need to rent some points, if you need to buy or sell. We're here for you. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, and be sure to come back next week.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.